Perfect. So I'm gonna continue where I stopped yesterday. So I've done quite a bit between. So yesterday I did get a lot of issue, and now it's all fixed. So some of the stuff I've done in the past few hours between the stream was to doing some fetch requests. So example here, I'm able to get my pool 1, pool 2, getting all my member right there, getting the standing who all came from the backend, and here looks like I have nothing, and now here I'm gonna get an error. Okay, can I leave data of undefined? So that means I forget to do my awesome coercion right there, like that. Okay, perfect. So right there, I think it's pretty okay. The fetching is going well. React query is really awesome. When I go on my screen and I get back, I always get the fetch going back because of the stale, so it's pretty awesome. If you want someone in the chat, just let me know if you can hear me. It would be awesome. So I was doing some testing. I'm gonna just finish this test. So okay, I'm gonna just finish that. Just want to make sure then I send all the stat for my user, so 3, because when I create a pool I become a member and I send 2 new members to this pool and I create 2 daily pooler stat. That's perfect. So this is what I want to make sure. I'm gonna delete my with faker. So this thing is good. Oh, hey Matteo, how are you? So for my API, I don't have a lot right now. I have those 2 routes. So the me query here is to get my information. Pool from the me prefix is to get my own pool. So this is used for this fetching of this 2 pool right there. After that, here on for the pool, I can get the pool information. I can get all the member, and I can get the standing. So yeah. So now what I want to do is to manage also the player and everything. So the way I'm gonna deal with that is I'm gonna just copy paste some of the function I've done in the other function. And what I mean by that, it's example all the NHL relate stuff. So that's gonna be pretty quick. So I'm gonna just save that and delete that. So the idea here is I want to be able to fetch the stuff from NHL and to plug that with the player. So I need to have some model for that. So the first model I'm gonna create is gonna be NHL conference. I want to have the migration and the factory. I also want the NHL division. I also want to have the NHL team. I also want to have the NHL player. And what I'm missing, team position. I also want the position. Perfect. And now one thing I'm missing, it's the player. So I'm gonna do something I'm not supposed to do. Need to be after the position. So that was my mistake. And I need to have so conference, division, team, position, perfect. So for my conference, I'm gonna just copy those. It's just the stuff coming from the NHL API. The reason why I need to have those information is I don't want to always need to do a round trip when the only thing I need is those information who never change. So for a team, and I need also the position. And I need the player. So the player is a bit bigger. Perfect. So yeah, so perfect for that. So now I have that. And now I want to have my seeder back. So in that factory. So NHL team factory. I'm gonna just copy those those things. So if I go to NHL team factory, and now here I need to prefix the faker stuff with the this keyword first. And for carbon, I don't know why I need to have that. Okay, and for the division ID, that can be the NHL division factory create. Perfect. After that, for the NHL division factory, it's gonna be a pretty simple one. And I don't need that. And I need the conference ID, who's gonna be the NHL conference factory create. And I need the NHL team. I've done team. I need the NHL conference factory. The reason why I have this create at and update at, it's because of the Laravel IDE. So NHL conference factory. I need to move up this faker stuff. I don't need those two. And position factory. Okay, this one I need to do something else. It's because that's gonna always be those. So I'm gonna fake. So for those who ask, CDLRG are mean for center, defense, left forward, right forward, and goalie. Perfect. And NHL team, NHL position. I need the NHL player. So this one's gonna be the biggest one. Factory. I'm gonna take all that. It replaces where we see faker. And after that, for here, carbon create, I don't care about that. Here I need the NHL team and NHL position. Perfect. Okay, should be good for that. Now what I'm gonna do is the seeder. So I know it's a bit of copy and pasting. I'm sorry about that. So I need to have those 5 SQL file inside my CDAR. Those files are just a dump of the DB. The reason why it's because my player, it's 2000 player. I don't want to fetch them to the backend every time. And after that, here I'm gonna get the NHL CDAR function. Here I'm gonna show you what it does in a moment. So the NHL CDAR. So I'm gonna create a CDAR. So make a CDAR NHL CDAR, and this NHL CDAR is gonna be this big file where I don't need to do that. I'm gonna keep it. So what I do here, I'm importing my file I have in my seed, and I just put them right inside the DB. And now if I go to my database CDAR, I'm gonna say NHL CDAR class. So now I should be able to have that. I'm gonna migrate that. Migrate. And I'm gonna just do my DB seed class NHL CDAR. Yeah. Fail to open, no such file, or it's the same exact place. I think if I do db migrate fresh seed, I'm gonna get the same error. Okay, so file to open stream. So what did I miss? Do the db. Where is the db coming here? What the heck? Okay. What is this database path? And I need my Laravel log. I don't know why this PHP Storm don't like this Laravel log. I cannot even open that. So now I can rerun. Argument to pass to must be a type of array. My mistake. Path user equimper code pool server database. That's perfect. Seed conference. So do I miss this file? NHL conference is right there. Oh shit, it's big. It's now Cedars. Okay. So it's a change in Laravel. Okay, should be good now. So perfect. So now I should have my DB with all the player of the league. So it's they say 300, but it's like 2000. They just didn't count yet. I have all the division, the team. Perfect. And now my CDR create 2 user. It's perfect. And now I'm still getting there. Perfect. And I have perfect. And now I'm getting sign out. Perfect, because my puller was not anymore there. Perfect. Now the only thing I want to do is to create some daily puller stat. Because right now I have nothing. If you see here, I have nothing right now, so I'm gonna just add some. So I'm gonna just say like the pool is gonna be the model pool first. And now what I want to do is to app model daily stat, daily puller stat, factory, create. I'm gonna say pool ID it's 1 and user ID it's 1. Perfect. I'm gonna say 2 and I'm gonna say the user 3. So now if I go back, you see it's already refreshing because React query. So my React query right there is right there, and you go with the stale. So at the moment, like you quit the tab and you go back, you're gonna requery every time. I can remove my fake. Now it looks pretty good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Which one did you love like the most? Perfect. So now they looks like that. Sounds good. Now what I need to do, so I'm gonna just say I'm gonna have put back the NHL data models. And now we need to do some stuff now. Now what I want is to create a model where I want to bind the player from the an NHL player with the pool to a user. So it's going to be like a 3 table join. So I want to have here a pool player. And for that, I'll need to have the migration in the factory. And a pool player, it's gonna be no factory, but I need to have a pivot. I need that to be a pivot. So if we go to pool player table, I know we are supposed to do the pivot with the good naming convention, but now I don't have a lot of choice. So here I need to have 3 foreign key. So the first foreign ID is going to be the user ID. The second one is going to be the pool ID. So which pool this player it belongs to. Really? And finally, I need the player ID. And now the difference, it's here that's going to be the NHL player tables. And this is the column ID, just to make sure you follow that. Okay, so now what that means, it's now what I want to do is I want a pool to be able to create to add a player. So I'm gonna go to my pool test and I'm gonna create a new test called can add player for member. So for that, what we need a user in a pool. I need to have the pool user to be add. And now I need here to have an NHL player. And one thing I just think about is if I go to my NHL player factory, I did this issue right there. So here that should be factory create, and here that should be the same exact thing. So I want to have an NHL player factory create this player. I want my pool to call a function called add player. Add player. So I want to add that to the user. So I'm gonna add this NHL player belongs to this user to this pool. And just to make sure, I'm gonna assert the database count of the pool player. It's 0. And after that here, this thing is gonna become now 1. And I also want the database to as inside this one. I want to make sure you have a user ID matching the user ID. I want the pool ID matching the pool ID. And I want the player ID to match the NHL player ID. Like that. So now if I run this code, I'm gonna get foreign key insert or update on table NHL player via key NHL player position ID foreign. Key position ID is not present in table position. Insert. What I tried to insert was 4368. What if? Position ID was the not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. Okay, so what this thing give me? Okay. Foreign key relation insert or update on table via key constraint initial player position ID foreign. Key position ID is not present in table position. So what did I miss? So initial position. I have the ID here. If I go to NHL player, string position ID. Okay. Foreign key violation. Hey, how are you? I'm fine. Sorry, you asked first, so my God, what a Okay, I think so. The position ID is right there. It's the third one from the left, from the right. So here is the first timestamp, the other timestamp, and now I send 0. What? Yeah, so I have the ID, is good. This is what I'm supposed to get. But what is missing? Before that, I was doing this random stuff. The thing is, the NHL players, yeah, you request 1 item, but there are only 0 item available. The thing is, the position player, yeah. That's why I need to create. I don't understand what he's feeling right now. I'm creating my user, my factory. This thing is good. This thing is good. It's really right there. Right there is where it's fitting. So, you know what? I maybe remember what I've done. I need to seed everything. Yep, I think this is what I'm gonna need to do. I'm gonna check with that. Here, I'm sure that's gonna fail. Finally, it's so the initial position is working. I don't understand this thing. Keep position ID 0. Ah, I know why. Sorry, it's my bad. That's my mistake. I need to say NHL position right there. I need to say incrementing, it's false. Okay. So now I want to add a player. So I need to have a function add player. I'm gonna save. Now they're gonna say it's supposed to add. So the first item here is gonna be the user, and the second item is gonna be an NHL player as a player. But the first thing I need first is to have an array of players, and the player is gonna be this as belongs to many NHL players class using pool player class. And now here it should be return this dot player create, and I need to add user ID matching the user ID and the player ID matching the player ID. And now I'm get add user ID to fillable. Okay, so now right now I need to make them extend my base model so they don't have the guard. And now I get colon user ID of relation NHL player do not exist. Oh, thank you. Colon user ID of relation initial player do not exist. Relation NHL player pool do not exist. Insert into NHL player pool. So I bet pool player class, and now here I need to match the ID of the player ID. It's matching the pool ID with the ID. And now you see, that's the beauty of that. Is the only thing I don't like about the ORM right there is the fact that I'm really stuck. So select NHL player, pool player. I want the NHL player equal the pool player ID. So this one is right. Where pool player dot pool ID, where pool ID equal whatever I'm gonna pass. And now I get null value in colon user ID violate. Okay, I'm gonna check what I've done. I already have done it, so I'm losing time there. So player, it's initial player, pool ID, player ID, pool ID, pool ID, player ID, pool ID. Oh, I'm pretty close. Pool ID, player, pool ID, ID. And I've done. So that was the same exact stuff I've done. Sorry. Okay, so player, as many pool ID, ID, player, pool ID, player ID. And this thing gonna give me select all player from where the NHL player ID. No, this one is bad. I want the NHL player ID equal the pool player ID. So what I think is happening is this thing should be ID and this thing should be player ID. Join NHL pool join pool player on pool player ID equal pool player ID, where pool player pool ID equal, yeah, that's the one. Okay, null value in colon user violate, not null constraint. Failing row contain 1 null 1 1 null null SQL value 1 1. Okay, so what I've done here was this. I'm gonna, oh, that was as many true. That's the difference, that's why it's not working. And here when I say add player, attach player, that was pool player create. And now it should be good. I'm too lazy. Okay, now it works. So I think it's just luck. So I'm gonna run another test. Gonna create another player, so 1, 2. I'm gonna say here attach player 1, attach player 2. I want to have 2. I want to have this one. And I also want to make sure that I have this one. Yeah, so that was okay. So the error was the initial position random element is the issue. So now it works. Perfect. So now I can attach player. Can add player to a member and also as many players. So I'm gonna do that here. And I'm gonna say this assert count of 2 if I do pool dot players, and this should give me 2. Perfect. Just to make sure, I'm gonna check what I'm receiving. Yeah, so this issue, I'm gonna fix that. The issue is because if you look at the initial position factory, I'm doing a random element right there with this stuff, but I think here I need to say now it should always work. Okay. And now here I was not even testing this one, so you see I'm getting 2 elements. I'm getting the first player, I'm getting the second one, and now just to make sure, I'm gonna create the pool number 2 where I'm gonna add the member. I'm gonna have a third player, and I'm gonna add this third player in this third pool, and I want to make sure that I still just getting 2 and not 3. That's perfect. And now just to make sure, I can say pool 1 player, pool 2 player equal 1. Sounds good. So now what I'm gonna do, it's one thing also I forget to add was a player. Here I have an avatar. Is Ghoulie in avatar. I'm gonna add those things. So the avatar was just how to get the image from the NHL API, and the Ghoulie position, I just make sure that if the position ID equal G, means it's a Ghoulie, the rest is gonna be a forward. So now, also I'm gonna make the incrementing to be false. Now what I want to do, I'm gonna make it quick. I'm gonna go to my pool seeder. Okay, and I'm gonna do this kind of stuff. Pool seeder. I'm gonna go back to my seeder right there. I'm gonna have Guillaume and Morten. Guillaume and Morten. Like that. So here it's a pool. I don't need to have that. This attach member, let's add a member. No worry, I've got that. And this is add player for all of them. And now I inverse that. I want to have the owner first. And now when all that is done, I can go back to the React part and fetching that, and I'm gonna be done for today. Okay, so now if I run my, okay, now I have an error. Must be an instance of, okay, so I'm gonna rerun that. Add member must be an instance of add model user. So looks like the last issue is this thing. Okay, I know why. Should be good now. Ah. Okay. Argument 2 pass to a pool must be an instance of an initial player. Line 35. So really, I'm getting null. I'm getting null. Okay, so that means I have no. Okay, I know why. It's my mistake. It's because if we go back to the CDAR, I put the NHL before the. I need to pull before the pool, and now if I run it, now it works. So now you see I get all my player. I get my pool player. I get my NHL player. I get my pool here. Perfect. So finally, I'm gonna just have a pool. So now, if I'm refreshing my screen, I should get logout. I don't know why it takes some time. That's gonna be something I need to fix. I'm gonna log. Now I have my pool, where I have me, my brother, someone else. And now here, that's the last thing I need to do. After that, I'm gonna stop for today. So 5 minutes max, I'm done. So here, I'm gonna create a new controller called API pool player controller. This pool player controller, his only job is gonna be to receive here the pool and getting back all the players. So pool player. So here I'm gonna need to have a resource called player resource, and I'm gonna need to have a collection. So now here I can just return response JSON new player collection passing the player. And now if I go to player collection here, I'm gonna just need to pass data, who's gonna be player resource collection, this collection. And now if I go to player resource, here I can return whatever I want. So You know what? I know what I'm gonna do. Factory. I'm really too lazy for that. I'm close to it. Okay, like that. And what I want to also do is the theme, the puller. It's gonna be this, that when load puller, I'm gonna have a function where here I'm gonna return a new user resources, who's gonna be this, that puller. Okay, looks good. So now front side, API get pull players. I'm gonna create the type really quick. Export interface player. I'm gonna just copy all that. So ID, it's a number. Full name, it's gonna be a string. Last name is gonna be a string. First name is gonna be a string. Jersey number is gonna be a number. Don't care about that. I'm gonna just say puller. It's gonna be maybe a type of user. And last thing I forget, I want to have his avatar. It's gonna be this dot avatar. So avatar is gonna be a type of string. Perfect. So now if I go here, the data is gonna be player. And now I go to player. API player. Okay, please tell me it's working. Pull player. I'm getting nothing. I forgot to put the route. Now it should be working. Pull player. It's not working. Okay. What is failing? This thing. Trying to get a property word of non-object player resource. Okay, roster status. no error. Pull player right there. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. We have it. So now the only thing I need to do, it's say that if data dot data or that what? I'm gonna say 0, 0, 0. I don't care. Okay, and what is missing? It's here. Boom, right there. It's all the player we have from the DB, and that's it. I'm done. I'm gonna continue next time. Right now we see the owner is not there. It's because I need to do the relation. Yes, I'm Canadian. I'm from Quebec, Canada. Stefan, I mean, I'm planning to do a Go REST API project with SQLX. So SQLX, it's kind of like just something on top of SQL. So yes, I can do something with that. I get like 2 emails about that. So I think it's time for me to do it. So I'm done for the day. Thanks for everyone who's joined me, and we're gonna continue the next stream. Bye everyone.